وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
کہتی تھی یہ ماں قبر سکینہ سے لپٹ کر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. کہتی تھی یہ ماں قبر سکینہ سے لپٹ کر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. ارمان تھا پہلو میں تجھے اپنے چھپاتی، بازو جو کھلے ہوتے تو دروں سے بچاتی. دل پھٹتا ہے دل پر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. دیکھو تو ذرا قبر پہ میں آئی ہے بیٹا، اور ساتھ رہائی کی خبر لائی ہے بیٹا. آواز دو اٹھ کر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. سے آئی ہے پہلے ہی سے اصغر کی جدائی، ماں کیسے جدا ہوگی بھلا قبر سے تیری، مر جائے گی مادر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. اس شام کی ظلمت میں سہارا نہیں کوئی، سب غیر ہے بستی میں ہمارا نہیں کوئی. چھوڑوں تجھے کس پر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. کہتی تھی یہ ماں قبر سکینہ سے لپٹ کر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر، ہائے ہائے میری دختر. کانوں میں جو پہنائے تھے بابا نے تمہارے، وہی جو شمر نے چھینے تھے تمہارے، لائی ہوں وہ گوہر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، ہر گام تمہیں شمر ستم گر نے ہے مارا، کس طرح سناؤں گی میں والی سارا، عباس کو جا کر ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، اب اپنا ہی گھر قبر نظر آئے گا مجھ کو، ماں کہے کہ کوئی کس طرح لائے گا مجھ کو، اصغر ہے نہ اکبر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، تا عمر تیرا سوگ مناؤں گی میں بیٹی، اب سائے میں ہرگز نہیں بیٹھوں گی اے بیٹی، میں جاؤں گی جب گھر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، کہتی تھی یہ ماں قبر سکینہ سے لپٹ کر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر، ہائے ہائے میری دکھ تر،
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. اجڑے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی، گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب،
اجڑے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی، گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب، اجڑے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی، گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب،
نظریں جو پڑے گی سغرا کی، نظریں جو پڑے گی سغرا کی، شانوں کو چھپا لے گی زینب،
اجڑے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی، گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب،
جس نے بھی وطن میں آ کر احمد کی نواسی سے پوچھا،
جس نے بھی وطن میں آ کر احمد کی نواسی سے پوچھا،
یہ نیل تمہارے کیسے ہے،
یہ نیل تمہارے کیسے ہے، اشکوں کو بہا لے گی زینب، اجڑے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی، گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب،
بس گھر کی کہانی کو سن کر، اکبر کی جوانی کو سن کر،
اصغر کی کہانی کو سن کر، اکبر کی جوانی کو سن کر
روئیں گی تڑپ کر جب صغرا
روئے گی تڑپ کر جب صغرا سینے سے لگا لے گی زینب مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب
لرزے گی لحد زہرا کی ادھر بے ہوش ادھر صغرا ہوگی
لرزے گی لحد زہرا کی ادھر بے ہوش ادھر صغرا ہوگی
جس دم کے لہو میں اصغر کی
جس دم کے لہو میں اصغر کی کرتے کو نکالے گی زینب مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب
ہے اون و محمد میرے کہاں شانوں پہ پڑے یہ کیسے نشان
ہے اور محمد میرے کہاں شانوں پہ پڑے یہ کیسے نشان
پوچھیں گے جو حضرت عبداللہ
پوچھیں گے جو حضرت عبداللہ
نظروں کو جھکا لے گی زینب
مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب
جس نے بھی وطن میں آ کر احمد کی نواسی سے پوچھا
جس نے بھی وطن میں آ کر احمد کی نواسی سے پوچھا
یہ نیل تمہارے کیسے ہے
یہ نیل تمہارے کیسے عشقوں کو بہانے گی زینب مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب
بس گھر کی کہانی کو سن کر اکبر کی جوانی کو سن کر
بس گھر کی کہانی کو سن کر اکبر کی جوانی کو سن کر
روئیں گی تڑپ کر جب صغرا
روئے گی تڑپ کر جب صغرا سینے سے لگا لے گی زینب مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب مجھے ہوئے گھر کو دیکھے گی گردن کو جھکا لے گی زینب
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين. The caravan of our third holy Imam moved on from Karbala to Kufa onwards to Sham. We spoke about how in Kufa the mission was to remind the people, to make them realize that words are not enough, tears are not enough, until they're followed by action. And this was achieved in Kufa. They were sent on towards Sham. The mission in Sham was to enlighten, to awaken, to educate the people of Sham, and to show them that Yazid is not suitable at all in any way for the position that he has assumed and taken up on himself. Now, after a speech like the one that we discussed last night, in fact, it might have been around these days or a few days before that these speeches were being delivered in the court of Yazid, in the palace of Yazid, moreover. Yazid was destroyed. He didn't have anything left, and he couldn't stand for himself at all after being totally devastated in front of all the people that he had confused and fed propaganda to his whole life and his father's whole life. And he still tries. There's still a few hadith on him still trying. There's narrations that show that he still tried to do something. He asked somebody to still go and give a sermon, but now the tides are so much in favor of the Ahlul Bayt that the Imam is able to say something like this. The Imam stands up and he cries out loudly, our fourth holy Imam, وَيْلَكَ أَيُّهَا الْخَاطِبِ, woe be upon you, O person who delivered that speech, O speaker, اشتريت مرضاة المخلوق بسخط الخالق. You have preferred and you have selected to please an individual and costed yourself the displeasure of Allah. Imagine being able to say these things. This was what Sham was like just now. And he goes further, he says, فَتَبَوَّأْ مَقْعَدَكَ مِنَ النَّارِ. So now you yourself, you select which part of Jahannam you want to go to. You select your own seat in Jahannam. This was the strength that the Ahlul Bayt demonstrated and showed over here. There's one interesting narration that I think is much less discussed. And I think maybe most of us may have never heard this. We've all heard how in Kufa, when Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha is asked that how did you see what Allah did to your brother and the family members? She replies saying that I didn't see anything but beauty. A sentence that is truly amazing for a human being. We don't understand how she was able to say such a sentence. We have a similar narration in Sham, but this time from our fourth Imam. Yazid, they tried the same things, right? Yazid tried to speak to the Imam and he asks this question. When he sees our fourth holy Imam, he says, كيف رأيت يا علي ibn al-Husayn? How do you see what happened? Same question that Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, because this was something that they wanted to cash in on, right? They wanted to take advantage of. They have committed such a massacre, they've committed such a crime that humanity will see. They want to say that, look, we achieved what we want to achieve, and now you have to say it. We want to take it out of your mouths. But again, they've come to the wrong people. And the Imam replies, رَأَيْتُ, very similar to his aunt's sentence. You see over here, رَأَيْتُ مَا قَضَاهُ اللَّهُ قَبْلَ أَن يَخْلُقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. I saw what Allah had ordained even before He created the skies and the earth. He had ordained for this to happen. Meaning that when it comes to what Allah has ordained, what Allah has set for us, what Allah has decreed for us, we the Ahlul Bayt, obviously have no complaints toward it. Of course, we see the doings of Allah as good and only good, and don't see any impurity and evil within it. Yes, what you have done, that's impure, that's evil, that's wretched, that's unacceptable. But when you ask me how I saw things, from my perspective, I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at what Allah has done. And there I see that Allah had ordained. You remember we started on the first few nights and said that there's a hadith that the Imam tells Muhammad ibn Hanafiya, that the third Imam tells him on his way to Karbala, that Allah wants to see my blood spilt. Allah wants to see the ladies and children as captives. Doesn't mean Allah enjoys it. We explained over there. It means that this must happen to keep the religion alive. And now, standing in front of Yazid, our fourth Imam, sees that this has happened. The religion of Allah has been kept alive, and now I'm reviving it again in the presence of Yazid. And incredibly, they won this battle too. Sham is now seeing a revolution. There's certain hadith that seem unbelievable, and that's why I've even quoted them from purely Sunni hadith. Today I'll read for you from Tarikh al-Tabari. It's a hadith book that, it's not a Shia book at all. It has nothing to do with Shias. It's a Sunni historian. And he narrates this. One is a case that I'll read for you, and then what Tabari says. It's mentioned, ثم جعلت امرأة من بني هاشم كانت في دار يزيد. There was a lady that was in the house of Yazid, that was from Bani Hashim, staying with Yazid, in the family of Yazid. She begins to lament and cry over the loss of our holy Imam. And she called out, and she said this line, Ya Habibah, Ya Sayyida Ahli Baytah, Ya Ibn Muhammadah, Ya Rabi' al-Aramil wal-Yatama. And the last line is very interesting. In the house of Yazid, this isn't in the court, and you say that, okay, these are people. This is the house of Yazid himself. She calls out, Ya Qatila awlad al-Ad'iya. Oh, the one who was killed by the children of those who were not born legitimately. This is being called out in the house of Yazid. Tabari goes on to say that every single person in the house of Yazid was weeping and in tears and crying over what's happened. Every single lady, he mentions. So the revolution has happened. And there's no reversing this revolution. The change and the goal and the movement that this caravan intended for in Sham is achieved. An incredibly difficult task. Something that if you were to lay out in front of somebody who says, this is the task that we need to complete, they would say, wait a second, ato, nahi thai. But with the wisdom, with the guidance of our Imam who was present over there, they were able to achieve this goal. At this point, Yazid now is stuck. He doesn't know what to do. He turns to the people around him. He says, okay, wait, I ended with this yesterday, that we need to regather. Let's put our thoughts together and see what needs to be done over here. He was the one that was reciting poetry, saying that my grandparents, my ancestors would say that may your hand never stop working, and you've achieved and you've done. He thought everything was complete over here. He's bringing the prisoners, humiliation, complete, nail in the coffin, finished. Sealed for history are the Ahlul Bayt. And now he's come to the point where he has to consult with them. What should we do? And they have different opinions. This Imam that we see over here, he's the one we must target. And that's why there's a discussion on how they would be able to target the fourth Imam. Again, the Imam, through his wisdom, was able to push aside this threat. And then these people don't have any choice on what to do. They say general statements until Yazid comes to this conclusion that, look, we can't do anything with these people just now. It'll create a greater uprising. Just imagine if the fourth Imam was to be martyred at that time in that state after giving these speeches. Sham would have gone crazy. Sham would have completely turned around against Yazid, and Yazid probably would have been killed at such a time. So he's played his cards in such a way that it's now to his detriment. He's made the wrong choices. And so obviously like all of the other tyrants in time, when they see the Ahlul Bayt in front of them, and whenever they want to humiliate the Ahlul Bayt in the eyes of the people, and they're not successful, they imprison them and they place them in a jail. And that's why he orders that they must be taken to a jail. And he says, keeping the respect of these people in front of him, he says, I will give this man, our fourth Imam, 3 wishes. Whatever he wants, I will give it to him. 3 wishes, his. To appease the people, that look, at least I'm paying attention, I'm taking care of what's happening. Yes, they'll be put in prison. The details of how the prison is going to be is not mentioned to the people. But our hadith tell us that this was a prison. ثم أمر بهم إلى منزل. They were sent to a house, a place. لا يكنهم من حر ولا برد. They were sent to a place that had no protection from the heat and no protection from the cold. You know that this was around the time of the event of Karbala and Ashura was around October. People who've gone back and traced it, it's around October. The time they're in Sham is in November, maybe mid-November towards December. This is a time where days can be sunny and hot, but nights are intensely cold. Intensely cold. If we've been to Syria, I personally remember having traveled to Syria. Syria is a country that in certain areas it even snows. They were placed in such a place that they had no protection from the heat, nor any protection from the cold. In order to take their strength away from them, in order to humiliate them. Okay, we could not humiliate you in front of all the people, at least we will destroy you and cause such a situation for you that you would give up, or you would at least stay quiet and not be able to cause more issues for Yazid. These 3 wishes that he mentions that he'll give the Imam, these are forgotten. He doesn't mention them until much later when the Imam, it's almost time that they're being released and now let to go back towards Medina. At this point he comes to Imam and he says that, O Imam, mention your 3 wishes. And the Imam, look at the beauty and the strength of the Imam. Imam is not going to come and beg somebody like him, or give me food, give me water, give me a house. You know, you've taken so much from me, give me back. Give me more than what you took from me. I want compensation. I'll take you to court. The Imam doesn't speak like this. The Imam has got his trust in Allah. He's accomplished his mission. The Imam is the victor right now. Yazid is the one that's on the... He's got the lower hand in this deal. The Imam's got the upper hand in this deal. So he says, look at the 3 things the Imam asked for. And look at the strength in these 3 things. It's not even a request from the tyrant, because you don't request somebody like Yazid. He says the first thing is, I want to look at the face of my father again, so that I can benefit and take more from him. This is hitting Yazid where it hurts the most. Yazid thought that by bringing this head into public, that he would cause weakness in the Ahlul Bayt. The first thing the Imam asked for is that, let me see this head again. As if to tell Yazid, you thought that all of this journey from Karbala to Kufa to Sham, that by placing this head, you would make us weak. Or Yazid, no, that this head has been the head that has been giving us strength and guiding us this whole journey. I want to see that head again. And in response, Yazid responds saying, that will never happen. I will not be able to do this again. He knows that this head, this holy head of the Imam, gives energy and gives spirit to these people. Means even this mission that he wanted to accomplish, this backfired against him. The second one, look at the strength in this statement. He says, everything that was stolen from us, you give that back to us. Everything that you stole, you give that back to us. Yazid responds by saying that I will not give you back what we took, but I will give you back multiplied amount of what we took from you. For example, if the value of what we took from you is 100,000 dinar, I will give you 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 dinar. Right? Because Yazid was in a tough situation. He's looted the family of the Prophet. What answer does he have? His answer is that I'll give you back more. It's like when you go to, you've wronged somebody and now you have to pay them to settle the claim, right? You don't want them to bring up a court case against you, you settle the claim, you tell them, Haya, Jetla Kaptawi, Boli Leo. We look at the strength and the answer of the Imam. The Imam replies Yazid. Yazid is supposed to finish the sentence. This is the claim of the Imam. Yazid gives his response and says that I'll give you more than what was taken from you. The Imam says, look at the beauty in this sentence. فَقَالْ أَمَّا مَالُكْ فَلَا نُرِيدُهُ. Your money, your wealth, we don't want that. That's not what I'm asking for. You think I need your money? Do you think I'm in need of you? Do you think I'm stretching my hand towards you? Yazid, you've got it all wrong. وَإِنَّمَا طَلَبْتُ مَا أُخِذَ مِنَّا. I only asked. Look at the sentence and look at the depth in what the Imam is looking at. He says, I only asked for what was taken from us because from those things they were clothes that were weaved by my father, by my mother, Bibi Fatima salamullah alayha. Please recite a salawat. لأن فيه مغزل فاطمة بنت محمد ومقنعتها, and her head covering was amongst the things that you stole from us. وقلادتها, and the necklace that she would wear was from those things. وقميصها, and her shirt. I don't want your money. Do you think I want your money? These are precious items for the Ahlul Bayt. These are property of my mother, of my grandmother. This is what we want back from you. And Yazid, without any further discussion, he comes forward and gives these things back. And he says that we don't want any more embarrassment over here. The third thing that the Imam mentions, he says, and the strength of the Imam is just unimaginable. He says that if you want to kill me, Yazid, send somebody with these ladies and the children that can take them to Medina safely. As if telling Yazid that all of these threats that you made to kill me, I don't mind. I'm longing for Shahada. He told Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad, I'm longing for Shahada. It's our wish and our honor to be Shaheed in the way of Allah. As if to put salt in the wounds of Yazid that's already down, he tells him that if you're going to martyr me, then at least send somebody back with these women and children to take them back to Medina. A hidden message for a lot of us that put across our fourth Imam, somebody who was very weak, who couldn't lead the caravan. The Imam is the one that's responsible for the caravan. He's the one in charge. Yes, because of the nature of the places where speeches were to be delivered, his aunt, Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, had to deliver sermons. His other aunt, Bibi Kulthum salamullah alayha, had to deliver sermons. But the ruler and the guide and the Imam is the best word, was our fourth Imam. And that's why he says that send somebody that can accompany them back to Medina. This was his role. Now if you're going to martyr me, make somebody else take them back to Medina. Yazid over here, he doesn't want any further discussion. He says that these things that you asked for, know that you will be the one that will take them back. We're not going to touch you. We're not coming close to you. You take them back yourself, and please take them back safely to Medina. And if I want to add more masala on the top, have a safe trip back to Medina. This is the way Yazid is seeing them off. He brought them in to humiliate them. He's sending them back in a way that he says that, you know what, I'm not going to touch you. You yourself will lead them back to Medina. You are the Imam. You're the one that's the leader of their caravan. And you can make your way back. In fact, it gets to a stage where, again, this report is in Tabari, the Sunni book that I mentioned, the Sunni book of history, where Yazid, right there, you remember the speech of Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, she said, you will regret what you've said and done, and you will wish that you were paralyzed, not able to use your body, and you are mute. Yazid, right at that stage, he expresses lines of regret already. And he comes out and he says, وَمَا كَانَ عَلَيْهِ لو احتملت الأذى وأنزلته معي في داري وحكمته فيما يريد. I wish I had just brought him over to my house. The third Imam, this is talking about Imam Husayn alayhi salam, please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala. It says, I wish I had brought him here to Sham. We would have discussed and I would have given him what he wanted. وإن كان علي في ذلك وكف ووهن في سلطاني. Even if this meant that my sovereignty, my kingdom would come across as weak to the people. I don't mind. This was a mistake what I did. It gets stronger. حفظا لرسول الله. And then he says this sentence. We say that why, and some people say that why do we send la'an on some people? Yazid sends la'an on Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. He says, la'an Allah ibn Marjana. Yazid, you gave the orders. But he's seen what's happened now. And he says, la'an upon Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. This is from Tarikh Tabari. The source is a Sunni source. لعن الله ابن مرجان فإنه أخرجه واضطره. He is the one that forced the Imam to come out from his place of living, and he's the one that created this environment around him. وقتله. He is the one that killed the Imam. Yazid, atlu boleche? And then he explains why. So kam atlu boleche. This is what hurt Yazid. This is the mission of who? This is the mission of our Imam. No, this is the mission of the caravan in Kufa and Sham. That's an echo of the mission of the Imam. He says, فَبَغَّضَنِي بِقَتْلِهِ إِلَى الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Because of this death, the Muslimin all over the world have now begun hating me. Who made this happen? You are the one that wanted to humiliate them. You wanted to bring the prisoners in front of you and humiliate them. Why did all the Muslimin around the world start hating you? Because of the efforts of our fourth Imam. وَزَرَعَ لِي فِي قُلُوبِهِمُ الْعَدَاوَةِ. Not only have they started hating me, there's enmity as a seed. He picks his words very carefully. There's enmity that's been placed as a seed in their hearts. Whose words are these enmity that's been placed as a seed in the Muslims' hearts? The sermons. فَبَغَّضَنِي الْبَرُّ وَالْفَاجِرُ. Good people have started hating me. Even those people that are transgressors are now hating me. بِمَا اسْتَعْظَمَ النَّاسِ مِنْ قَتْلِ حُسَيْنَ. Since I killed Husayn. Here he slipped up. He says, since I did. Now a few minutes ago he was blaming Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. But here he slips up and he says that I did. And then he finishes this narration by saying, مَا لِي وَابْنِ مَرْجَانَ. What do I have to do with Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad? I have nothing to do with him. لَعَنَهُ اللَّهُ وَغَضِبَ عَلَيْهِ. Expressing his regret so openly. This is what he's come to. So this is the end of the journey of Sham. And inshallah from tomorrow we will speak about how they were sent from Sham onwards through Karbala towards Medina. This is our concluding discussion tomorrow night. But what lessons can we take from what's happened over here in Sham? One very, very important lesson, that if this was something I wanted to say in any other lecture, I would have to build up a lot of points and mention one after the other, step by step, to be able to say this sentence. But now I can say it so easily after having understood what's happening in Kufa and Sham. After all, and this is what I want to say, after all that has happened, some people amongst the Shias, amongst the lovers of our third Imam, of our fourth Imam, of all of our Imams, some of these lovers still ask this question, that who was victorious on the plains of Karbala? You're asking this question. I don't want to answer it with what I think. The best way to answer this question is to look at what Yazid himself is saying. The one that caused all of this, the one that laid the grounds and gave the orders for this massacre, for this martyrdom, he himself is saying, I regret what I did. And he wants to disassociate himself with what's happened. And now here we are sitting and saying that who won the battle and who lost the battle. We've got it all wrong. We think that winning and losing is how many people die on this side, how many people die on this side, who comes out as the victor in battle. No, that's not losing and winning. Ask Yazid himself. We don't need to go anywhere else. We don't need to have a very deep analysis on what the goals Yazid had in mind and what he really wanted to do. As I'm saying these sentences, please draw parallels to what's happening in the world today. In Gaza, you can draw parallels to the same concept. Yazid is the one that has a claim. Yazid is the one that's making a statement, and he's saying, I did not achieve my goals. I regret what happened. And here we are thinking that Yazid and his army were victorious. We're seeing things all wrong. Yazid made it clear time and again, and we pointed this out in the past few nights, that the mission was to get rid of the Ahlul Bayt. That was the crux of the mission. Every statement that you see from him, you can trace back to this mission. That we don't want the Ahlul Bayt to be those that bring the light of Allah in the lives of the people. Don't bear this any longer. Does this sound familiar? This is a verse of the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran, Surah Saf, verse number 8. Beautiful verse. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يريدون ليطفئوا نور الله بأفواههم. They want to put out and extinguish the light that Allah has placed with their mouths. They want to blow out. They think it's a candle that they can blow out with their efforts. Yazid thought that he could take out the light of the Ahlul Bayt. That right here, and that's what he started saying in Sham, that my ancestors would be proud of me, the people of Badr, the martyrs, he would say martyrs, the people that were killed in Badr would be proud of me. What I have been able to achieve, nobody has achieved. This is the claim that he had earlier. But over here he came to realize, وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. Allah says that this light of Allah that you seek to put out, you seek to extinguish, you seek to blow out, this light of Allah will be completed. Allah will complete His guidance. The message that Allah, through the Ahlul Bayt, wants to reach all of humanity, whoever gets in the way of this message, they won't be able to damage this message and they will be wiped out. وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. Even if the people who are disbelievers, those who hide the truth, do not like this, it's a reality. 2 + 2 = 4. You like it or you don't like it. This is a principle of Allah. Whoever stands to block the path of the Ahlul Bayt, they will be wiped out. The Ahlul Bayt, their light and their remembrance and their love in the hearts of the people, even in the middle of Sham, will not only stay alive, but will grow and grow every day. Somebody came to one of the Imams, this hadith is narrated in Al-Kafi, and he asked about this very verse, يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ. That people, there are people that want to, that aim to put out and blow out the light of Allah with their mouths. They said, what is this? The Imam says, قَالَ يُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا وِلَايَةَ أَمِيرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ. People want to put out the wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen with their mouths. The wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen is a central core of our beliefs. That Allah divinely appointed Amirul Mu'mineen for the guidance of the people. And from then to his son, to his brother, to his son, all the way one after the other until our 12th Imam. Please cite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. These are uncompromisable. This is the light of Allah. Anyone who stands against this, know that their fate will be the fate of Yazid. Yazid, did he have less in terms of resources? Did he have less in terms of support of the people? Did he have less in terms of wealth? Did he have less in terms of authority and power? He was the Khalifa of the Muslims apparently. He had all the wealth that he required. He was able to put together an army of at least 30,000 people to kill the grandson of the Prophet. This is the power Yazid held. But yet, when he stands up against the light of Allah, he is nothing. We heard just yesterday from the sermon of Bibi Zainab salamullah alayha, Inni la astasghiru qadrak. I see you as somebody who is insignificant. In the face of the light of Allah, all of this money and this wealth is nothing. The light of Allah will continue, and anyone who stands against it will fall. The Imam goes on to say, Wallahu mutimmu nurihi. Yaqul, Wallahu mutimmu al-imama. Wal-imama hiya an-nur. The Imam says, Allah will complete the imamah. All of these tyrants, you look in Islamic history, from the time of the Holy Prophet and those that oppose the Holy Prophet, until the time of our 12th Imam, Each one of them, their mission was to somehow or the other keep the Imam away from the people, preferably to martyr the Imam. And in how many instances they managed to martyr the Imam at a very young age. This was their effort. The promise of Allah is that Imamah will continue. Even in a day like today. The ideologies of the world today, whether we understand or not, threaten the guidance of Allah, the light of Allah. They want to put aside the way of living, the pure way of living as taught to us by the Quran, by the Ahlul Bayt. Allah says that this mission will continue. So if you want to understand who's victorious, we don't need to go left and right. Let's look at what Yazid says himself, the regret that he expresses himself. One further message that we can take from this. Wallahu mutimmu nurihi. Very powerful message for me and you. Is that sometimes when we stand with the religion, sometimes when we speak and spread the religion, sometimes when we volunteer, sometimes when we help in organizing these majalis, sometimes when we do some sort of service for the religion that is so beautiful, sometimes in our minds we feel that we have done a favor to the Ahlul Bayt, to Allah. That I was somebody that helped revive and save the message of our Imam in Karbala. I was the one. If it wasn't for me, maybe it wouldn't have happened in this way. But Allah is telling us that Wallahu mutimmu nurihi. Allah will complete this message. It doesn't rely on me and you. You think we're that important that the message of Allah wouldn't happen if it wasn't for me or you? It's exactly the opposite. And if we change this mindset, the way and the spirit that we would serve with would become so much more pure. The mindset is this, that this train is moving. This light is guiding. This light is thriving. This light is radiating across the world. I want to be amongst those that gets the chance, that gets the opportunity to play a small role in spreading this light. This is an honor for me to be amongst those that on the day of Qiyamah they said he was also somebody, she was also somebody that played a role in this mission. Do you see the companions of our third Imam in Karbala coming to the Imam and saying, Imam, is this the tone that they have? It's the exact opposite. They come and tell the Imam that, oh Imam, if we didn't have you, where would we go? Allah saved us through you. Allah rescued us through you. And this is the spirit that we should volunteer and serve with. That it's an honor. Now, when this is the case, when I complete a big mission, let's say somebody is able to do a big feat, a big task. Over here now is the time where I don't come and expect people to tell me, tuto bo saru kam kairo, tuto mashallah, bo saru manas. It's my chance to feel inside me that the Ahlul Bayt did another favor upon me. They picked me to carry out this mission. They chose me, this insignificant, sinful person, to carry forward their mission. What an honor. This is the love of the Ahlul Bayt towards their followers. This is a perspective shift that we can take as a practical lesson. The point we'll end with today from history is that as soon as Yazid has now admitted his defeat and he sent them towards the prison, and now he seeks to separate them from the people, the first thing the Ahlul Bayt do, the first thing they do, وَكَانُوا مُدَّةِ إِقَامِهِمْ, it talks about how long they were staying. وَكَانُوا مُدَّةَ إِقَامِهِمْ فِي الْبَلَدِ الْمُشَارِ إِلَيْهِ, the length of the time, the whole time they were there in that prison. What was the one thing that they were doing? يَنُوحُونَ عَلَى الْحُسَيْنِ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ. Please cite a salawat. They would grieve and weep and remember the sacrifices of the Imam. This is what they did. Now again, we can fall into a very basic and lowly understanding of what this is. And sometimes we speak about it like this, not understanding who these people are. Sometimes looking at them like we would look at things. It's as if, for example, they were fighting for so long, they suffered so much. Now, when things are going to get easier, they're going to go back towards Medina. Now is the time that they're going to cry. Now is the time that they put aside all of their worries. Now is the time they put aside all of their pain, and now they can cry with their whole hearts. No, this doesn't match the Ahlul Bayt. This very same mission of Azadari, this very same mission of these tears, was a part of the warfare used to further spread the message of the Imam. They used this as a tool. They used this as a means to show the people what happened, the sacrifices of Karbala, to not allow for history to forget these sacrifices. And that's why they begin to recite the Masa'ib. In Kufa, they recited the Masa'ib as well. In Sham, in front of Yazid and the people, they recited the Masa'ib as well. Was this out of weakness? Was this that they couldn't control themselves? Bibi Zainab, in the middle of that khutbah that she has, she can't control herself? What are we thinking of this lady? What a weak opinion to have. She's trying to wake up the hearts of the people. That look, these were people that stood for values. These were the most beautiful people on the face of this earth. And these people were martyred. But oh people, don't cry and finish it over there. That's what the people of Kufa did. The people of Kufa cried. They cried a lot. They cried so much that they were lost. They didn't know what to do. Hayara. They were confused. But that wasn't what was expected from them. What they were supposed to achieve wasn't that. It's supposed to create a revolution in the hearts of the people. This is the goal. And this is a loud and clear message for me and you. And we'll speak about this tomorrow. The spirit of Arba'in is this. And that's why tomorrow we'll speak about this in detail. Why did they pass by Karbala on the way back? The spirit is this, that through this Azadari, through the Matam, through the Marthia, through the recitation, through the Masa'ib, the idea is to keep alive the mission of this great man. To show the people that, look, such a man stood in front of such wretched individuals, where all of the light and all of the brightness of Allah was on one side, yet these dark, wretched individuals still had the audacity to come forward and martyr such people. This is the message of Azza. This is why, as soon as the other type of warfare, the enlightenment, the education comes to its completion, mission begins. And my dear brothers, my dear sisters, this is a mission that will continue until the end of time. You know, we say, Hum rahe ya na rahe ya azadari rahe. This is the point. It's not about, what's the point if this azah is going to be like the azah of the people of Kufa? Is that the azah that we want to remain? Did the Imam, did Bibi Zainab accept the azah of the people of Kufa? They were crying. Azah is supposed to be something that moves our hearts, that shakes us, that wakes us up. That the values that the Imam stood for, the beauty that the Imam displayed, ma ra'aytu illa jamila, that was kept alive and echoed through Kufa and Sham, ricochets and comes back into our lives. This was the mission. Azah is for this. I've heard comments from this community, and myself, I had this comment that this Matam translation that's being played here is so beautiful. Truly it's beautiful. Truly it stands to show that these words that we're reciting are not mere words on our tongues. We want to understand what's being said. We want to revive this mission. This is Azadari that needs to be brought to life. New words that present this mission in its most beautiful manner. New words that show that these apparently captivated people were not captives. They were soldiers, they were warriors that kept alive the mission and the values that were being shown in Karbala. This is Azadari. This is why it's the next mission. And this is the mission that must stay alive until the end of time. It's upon us to look at our forms of azab and compare and try and ensure that we have this compliance. This is the key theme and the key message behind this azab. Inshallah, we'll complete this topic tomorrow. We pray to Allah that we all get a chance to be amongst the true azadar of our Imam and this caravan of the Imam. The Masa'ib of tonight is a scene of the Masa'ib from the prison of Sham. The prison of Sham is very difficult to speak about. After all that they went through, after all the suffering, to be put in a prison in such conditions, it's mentioned in our hadith that there was nothing to protect them from the heat, from the cold, until their skin would begin to peel in the heat of the sun that they were facing. These are the daughters of Ali. Their skin would peel from the heat. The masa'ib of the prison, of their imprisonment, is something that is so difficult to speak about, that there are so many details that have not been mentioned in history, possibly because of the difficulty of the situation. And when we hear certain masa'ib that may not be believable, we should understand that this situation was something that we cannot comprehend fully. Let's take our hearts and accompany the daughter of Imam Husayn in the prison of Sham. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Sallallahu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. This young daughter of the Imam was alone in the prison of Sham. Just imagine her heart longing for her father. It's mentioned on the fourth night of being in the prison, she sees a dream. This is mentioned in Luhuf of Sayyid ibn Tawus. She sees a dream, a lady comes forward, seated upon a mount. Her hand is placed upon her head. This daughter of the Imam asks, who is this lady that has come to visit me? فقيل لي هذه فاطمة بنت محمد. This is Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet that's come to visit you. She says to herself, Wallahi لأنطلقن إليها. I will go towards her. وَلَأَخْبِرَنَّ مَا صُنِعَ بِنَا. I will tell her what they've done to us. فسعيت مبادرة نحوها. I began running towards her. حتى لحقت بها, until I met her. فوقفت بين يديها أبكي. I was in her presence crying and weeping. What were you calling out? وأقول يا أمّا, oh my mother, جحدوا والله حقنا. They took away our rights from us. Ya Ummah, oh my mother, Baddadu wallahi shamlana, our gathering, our togetherness, they broke this. They took away from me my brothers, my uncles, my father. استباحوا والله حريمنا. Oh my mother, our sanctity was broken. We are the daughters of the Prophet. Ya Ummah, line by line, she's telling her grandmother what's happened from Karbala to Kufa to Sham. This young daughter has held everything inside her chest. She wasn't able to speak about this until she comes across her grandmother. Ya Ummah, oh my mother, can you believe this one? Ya Ummah, قتلوا والله الحسين أبانا. Oh my mother, can you believe my father Husayn was martyred? Bibi Fatima turns to this young lady. She tells her, Kuffi sawtik, lower your voice, Ya Sukayna, faqad quti'ti niyata qalbi. You are severing the strings of my heart with what you are calling out, O Sukayna. هذا, she holds up something in her hand. هذا قميص أبيك الحسين. This is the shirt of your father Husayn. لا يفارقني حتى ألقى الله به. I will never let go of this shirt until I meet Allah with this shirt in my hand. Oh Fatima, this is what they did to your son. This is the repayment of the risala of your father. This is how they treated your daughters. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين. مات الحسين.
भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के। भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के। भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के। जाऊंगी अब मदीना, जाऊंगी अब मदीना, चलो तेरा मना के। भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के। भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के। मालूम है ये तुमको ज़ैनब उजड़ चुकी है, लेकिन तेरी शहादत घर घर पहुँच गई है। शाबाश दो बहन को, शाबाश दो बहन को, भैया गले लगा के। भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के भैया मैं आ गई हूँ नाना का दी बचा के
भैया तुम्हारी ज़ैनब اب وہ نہیں رہی ہے
पहचान लोगे मुझको हालत बदल गई है
چلتی ہے یہ ضعیفہ
چلتی ہے یہ ضعیفہ بھائی کمر جھکا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کلی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کلی بچا کے
سجاد اور باقی دیں گے گواہی میری
کھائے غازیاں نے بنتے علی نے پھر بھی
لے آئی شامیوں سے
لے آئی شامیوں سے وارث تیرے بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے
کیسے بتاؤں بھیا بازار میں جو گزری
کہتے تھے سب کے مارو یہ ہے علی کی بیٹی
بابا کے بھی میں بدلے
بابا کے بھی میں بدلے سب آئے ہو چکا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے
امت نے تجھ پہ بھائی رونے کہاں دیا ہے
جی بھرے کہ میں نے تیرا ماتم کہاں کیا ہے
روئے کی آج زینب
روئے گی آج زینب فرش عذاب بچھا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے
گھر جا کے کیا کروں گی پہلو میں ہی سلا لو
اکبر سے کہ مجھ کو تربت کی جا دلا دو
مالک ہو تم تو بھائی
مالک ہو تم تو بھائی جاگیر کربلا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کا دی بچا کے
یہ کہے کہ اے تکلم اٹھتی علی کی بیٹی
عباس کی لحد پر پہنچا دے مجھ کو کوئی
دکھلا دو با وفا کو
دکھلا دو با وفا کو رسی کے نیل جا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کدی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کدی بچا کے بھیا میں آ گئی ہوں نانا کدی بچا کے
الفاتحہ
બિસ્મિલ્લાહિર્રહમાનિર્રહીમ. આવતીકાલે રાતના 7:50 અત્રે હુસૈનીએ ઝહરામાં ઇમામ હુસૈન અલી સલામ અને શહોદાએ કરબલાના 40માની મજલિસ અને ત્યારબાદ નિયાઝમાં સર્વે બાઈઓ તથા ભાઈઓને પધારવાની વિનંતી છે.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى علي بن الحسين، وعلى أولاد الحسين، وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا، ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلطان أبا الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفيعنا وشفيع والدينا في يوم الجزاء، ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الأسر والزمان، سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كعبة الإيمان، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان، عجل الله تعالى فرجك وصحر الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك، ورحمة الله وبركاته.